I love your LinkedIn posts. You're very, active on LinkedIn and social media. And there's one thing that stuck out that I want to know. I want to know the story behind it because y'all did a cool video on it recently, and it's the Pink House.
Okay.
I want to hear the story behind the Pink House, what it is, why y'all did it, and and how it's working because I watched that video and I loved it. Y'all had someone playing guitar on the front porch. Y'all were hanging out.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
Josh
fun.
Love was here, man. He was so, and I'm not wearing pink on purpose. This is my Lansky's brother's Elvis shirt, so this is not planned. But so my wife has a vegan restaurant in Shreveport, which is crazy in itself, right? I mean, we're in Louisiana, nobody eats healthy, right? We fry bottled water, but so she's had a vegan restaurant in our hometown since 2014, and in 2017 she moved to an area that was, not good. Every house around it was abandoned. There were like one or two restaurants that were old staples of Shreveport. And so she moved her business into this old house. It's right next door to the Pink House. It's called Well Fed Louisiana. It's her restaurant and juice bar. And it was terrible, but she had a vision when she did a yoga training. She wanted a greenhouse. She wanted her mom to be the chef. She wanted it to be able to hire, kids who were underserved or underprivileged. And she had all this stuff in her head. And whenever this house, somebody came in to her old business and said, "Hey, y'all should buy this house and redo it," and it was terrible, but she did it, and it's been successful. Well, her investor bought the blue house, which is well fed, and the house next door really as crowd control. In that neighborhood, we wanted to make sure that her neighbors were like just nothing. We wanted to make sure that that block was safe, even though everything around it really wasn't. And so that house was bought in 2017. He since passed away, and the executor of the estate said, "Hey, I'm going to sell this house. Do you have any reason to want it?" And so that's when Chase and I were like, most of our clients are in the real estate market. They have rental properties. Let's make this our first. Let's do this as our own investment. And so Chase and I created an LLC called Rhino Capital Management after the Rhino success book. Be a rhino, not a cow, right? So it's a very short read. So we created this and we bought the house next door to WellFed, and it's a big pink house. And we sat on it for about a year. Well, the pandemic happened, and everybody was sitting at home remodeling their own houses. The banks were looking to loan money. There was no business, and so Chase and I had the great idea: let's remodel it and let's rent it out to some tenants. Let's find some lawyers or a barber shop or something to go next door to Lindsay's restaurant. And so we personally, Chase and I, started to remodel the Pink House. And as that process started happening, we started to see it come together. People started going, "What's going in there? What's happening in there? Who's doing that? That's a cool house. What are y'all going to do?" And it just drew up a lot of excitement. And Chase had just started studying for the CFA, and he has three baby girls at home. And so he couldn't get any privacy. So we found ourselves going to the Pink House to get away from Bellmead, which is we have our 10 team members are here, and our admin and our conference rooms and all that stuff are in this big fancy office building. But Chase and I found ourselves, just me and him, by ourselves, with our Surface Pro and a notebook at the Pink House, working, calling clients during COVID, um, doing financial plan. There's no phones. There's none of that. We just had music playing, some candles. It was just a safe place for us to work. And that is now our WFA second office locations, the Pink House. And there's no team members. We've got it set up to where some of our clients can come in if they want to use an office. There's three offices kind of set up. They can do a Zoom. We've got kids from the inner city. My brother's a college, student at Centenary. They'll come over and do homework. We've just been able to utilize that space, as a place for us to go and work wearing sweatpants and a shirt and not market it to anyone for no other reason than to just work. And what it's turned into is everybody wants to be a part of that, like, mindset. Like, what do y'all do? How did y'all do this? Dreaming and visioning and crazy ideas, or how do I start a business? It's just become a safe place for us to just kind of give our life advice and rocking chairs on the front porch in a bad neighborhood, which is not bad anymore because we've recreated that whole area. But it's just a different feel than, no offense to the majority of our clients, the 65-year-old, lady who just inherited money or retired. Now we're getting 21-year-old, people who don't look like me or act like us that are interested in what we're doing. So it's become our way to sort of give back to the community, but to have a place that is just feels like home. You know what I mean? And so it's just turned into its own thing. Like it's the Pink House. Everybody's like the Pink House. Yeah. So it's been fun. We're having our Christmas party there December 10th. We've got vendors coming in to do like a little farmer's market. We're going to have tacos, a food truck. Santa Claus is going to be on the front porch taking pictures with the kids and grandkids. So like now it's where our holiday party is going to be,
I love
and,
that.
and so I don't know exactly what it is. We've been blessed to meet athletes that, Shreveport's got a bunch of NFL players that eat healthy. And so they come to my wife's restaurant. Brandon Wilson's a guy for Cincinnati. He's a return guy. Shout out to B Will. He had surgery on his ACL yesterday, so I hope he's recovering. Went and saw him in Cincinnati last week. But it's led us to, now we're like the NFL Players Association. We're going to do that in August. Like, so maybe now we start working with athletes, and maybe we work with different. It's just led us to different demographics of people than your typical Rotary or luncheon at the steakhouse or client, whatever it might be. And those people actually have some money, they need some help. And that's just not a demographic that's been focused on in our business. And really, there was no way to focus on them unless you plant yourself right in the middle and just open the doors up type of thing. So it's been an
I love it,
incredible
man.
journey. Now, everybody in RFG, all of our advisors, they all want a pink house. We got Nashville wants to find a pink house. Birmingham, they're trying to find a pink house. I'm like, Chase is doing a Peloton ride. We're big Peloton fans, and the guy, I forget who it was. One of them started talking about he had this vision and this dream of having this bike studio, and it was a big house and it was bright pink. And Chase is on his bike, like, yes, like I knew, I got that. We have a pink house, so it's kind of
Yeah,
it's
heck,
just
you're inspiring me. I want to go find a pink house.